Hey, thanks for coming back to Vegan Crypto. What's going on in the markets today? We've had a little bit of sell-off in the morning, to be expected, right? We had a pretty good Christmas rally, and actually volume picked up today more than I would have thought of, about 81 billion. If you think back a month and a half ago, we were lucky to get 33, 40 billion in volume a day, so that's pretty significant. Bitcoin got down to 41-ish, back at 42,350. Will we close at the end of the year? Some people are thinking 50,000. That's not happening. Maybe 43, 44, right? BlackRock is going to keep it down as much as they can while they are accumulating. It's not going to be on the open market. That's going to be with Coinbase, but nothing that we'll see that will drive prices up. Ethereum still hanging there at 2,200. You're going to see over the next week year-end selling due to tax offsets. Over the next year, you cannot get panicked when you see a 15, 20, 30% flash crash. That is going to happen all the way through the beginning of the major part of the bull market, right? We're in a bull right now, but this is really just the beginning. Heading up to $15,000 to where we're at now. It's been a very slow climb, and then as you see, it can just be like this, going sideways forever, and then boom, you have a 30, 40, 50% rise in your alts. Right? Bitcoin might go up a few thousand, which is significant, but your alts, then money comes out of Bitcoin, goes into alts, and you can see it pop 100%. I believe one of the keys, I've been trading for decades, the key to be successful in the bull run is know you're out, know where you're going to sell before you buy in, right? Don't get greedy. That's where we all found ourselves in over the last one, right? The bull market was cut short, and we all got caught. As it drops down 10%, I'm not going to sell it. It's going to come back 20%. I'm not going to sell it all the way down to 50, 60, 70, 80%. You're not selling it. There's some capitulating with some people, but hopefully you guys didn't do that. At that point, what's the point? Unless you're going to do a tax write-off and you can offset it a little bit, what is the point? You just hold on, wait for the next bull market, and you're hoping it just gets back to where you bought it, right? If it doesn't hit all-time highs, that's one thing, but you want to at least break even and get out. So don't get greedy. People who are long, don't say you're going to get it out. If you're, let's say you're long at 10 cents, $10, $20, whatever it may be, and it's down 90%, and you're just hoping for it to get back to where you bought it, and then you'll get out. But then it gets within that range, right? Let's say it's $10 to get yourself even, and you're at $9. All of a sudden you're at $10, and you're like, oh, look at where we're at now. And you get greedy. Be careful of that. You say you're going to get out at even, get out at even. You say it's going to be 10%, 20% over that, stick to your guns. A little profit is better than a big loss, right? You're going to leave money on the table. There's no doubt about that. But do you want to win a little or lose a lot? That's the key. We're also seeing Polygon finally waking up, right? We have been in that, cannot jump over that 90 cent, right? We are pushing almost $1. There we go, 101 right now. Will we get support at $1? That is pretty good. We have been sleeping. What a good buy now. 60, 70 cents would have been. I'm pretty long. I remember buying Polygon back at 30 cents in the last bull run. Got out at, I think it was $1.10. We've been sitting in that 70, 80 cent range forever. Finally, everything has its turn. You just have to be patient. Everything has its turn. Some things won't get that same run like they did before. Maybe your older coins, but if you're patient enough, and the project, even if the project isn't always working, right? Look at Ethereum Classic. That always has a run. Why does Ethereum Classic go up every bull run? even though it's pretty much a dead project. Well, because newbies come in, they look at Ethereum and they go, ooh, $2,200, $3,000, $4,000. Ooh, but what is this? Ethereum Classic? And they buy that, right? It's $10, $20, whatever it's sitting at. I haven't looked at it in 3 years, but they just see it was the same thing with like Bitcoin Cash or one of the off brands of Bitcoin forks, and they look at that and they buy it, end up doing okay, but they think that it's, the uneducated, the newbies think it's part of Bitcoin, and a heck of a lot cheaper, right? $44,000, not even a penny, right? That's what they go for. And Chainlink at the $15 range, right? We have been stuck there for quite some time. Did it have its run? And is it going to stay there? Chainlink does good in the bear markets, but once we hit that full-on bull market, it seems like all the steam comes out of it and gets thrown into the other alts. But we'll see if this one's different. People are looking for $100 Chainlink for this bull run. I don't see it happening. I would love for it to happen. I don't have any. I'm not going to. I watched it at, typical 24 cents years ago, and I went, am I getting that or XRP? I should have done both. I dumped it all into XRP, the majority of my bag at the time. That was a while ago. But I watched Chainlink go from 20 some cents all the way up to $16, $17, and it's kicking myself. But it's one of those things I'm not buying in at $15 when I could have bought it in at 24 cents. Stupid mentality, but that's what I did years ago, 2 bull runs ago. Near Protocol, that is just, it's had a little trace back now. We're about 4.30. That is going to be a winner, already has been. Not too late to get into that. Of course, not financial advice, but do not sleep on Near. Keep a close eye on it. It is still a great buy in the 4s. Stacks is going to make its move. It's going to follow. I mentioned that yesterday. It's going to make its move when Bitcoin hits the next rise. Stacks goes along with it. At $1.50, you cannot go wrong with it. Stellar. I don't have any, but there's been some big news about that, but not seeming to move. It's in that 12 to 13 cent range. I'd rather have the XRP. XRP will have its moment. It will have its moment. And as I mentioned, it's hard to believe that everything else is smaller projects are rallying 100, 200, 300% over weeks' time, and XRP's in that 60 cent range. It doesn't seem to make any sense, but it does. If you've seen it forever, it'll be late to the show. If you're in it, I'm holding on. What's the point? I have an average price of much lower than this, but even if I didn't, it will have its turn, and it'll move fast. It will move. Next month they have another SEC meeting, supposedly a settlement. We'll see what happens, but it will have its move, and it'll be quick. And because of the momentum, it won't be the last time where it shoots up to $1 and hits back. Now, people will be taking profits, but I think a lot of that was done on the last rise to $1 after the SEC announcement. So, anybody holding XRP wonder when the next release of Flare token airdrops will be. We've been waiting forever. We had the first one with Coinbase, and hasn't been one since. So there's no news about it. They have not come out with anything saying when the next airdrops will be. So another thing you need to think about when you are putting your principal in and you're making a profit, pick a place where you want to at least take out what you put in, your principal balance. Take it out, and then it's fun money, right? Give yourself an out. If you're getting in at $1, you put 1,000 in, 500, whatever it may be, and you get your profits back. Take at least some of it out, at least 50% of it out, and let the other ride if that's what you want. But don't get caught, because you will. You're going to have your support and resistance, and it is going to either bounce between those like a rolling stock, as we used to call it when we do rolling stocks with calls and puts and options, but you really you have nothing to lose except for ungained wins, and profits when you take out your initial investment. Do that, and then you will have no regrets. Like I said before, you may leave money on the table, but you may not. You know, what comes up fast always has a retracement. People are always taking profits, and you don't want to be stuck, you know, not being able to get out with low liquidity, or on a panic sell, and you can't get on Coinbase or whatever, or get shut down, and you try to sell. I don't know if anyone remembers a few years ago when we had a huge crash and Coinbase always goes out, but I tried to sell my ETH, and I was in at like 1100, got up to about 2700. We had a flash crash. I tried to sell it, didn't go through. It went through on my end, but then said sorry, it didn't go through. I'm glad it didn't, because it popped back up. But don't let your emotions get in it. When something crashes hard, it always comes back. Usually it's just on news, or we hit a lot of shorts or buys, and they get squeezed out, and that will pop it up fast. That's what's going to pop up the next Bitcoin, right? You're going to have some short squeezes, and that's going to pop us up to 50,000, because there's not going to be much in the gap. Now, people think we're going to fill in some of the gaps around 39,000 and 38,000. I think that could definitely happen. On some news. Otherwise, I think we're going to hold tight at 40, 41. So you guys hang tight. How many people are aware in regards to animals, what we use them for, right? Do you guys know what vegan means? Vegan is, the traditional explanation. It's, the non-use of and exploitation of animals. It's a way of living to seek and exclude as far as possible, and practical, all forms of exploitation of and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, and any other purpose. It's pretty easy to understand. The more you look into it, the more you'll see animal products in everything, from blood in the sidewalk that you walk on, and asphalt, to the clothing you're wearing, to the pet food, right? What do you think your pet is actually eating? Your dog food? If you're buying cheap dog food, they actually use dogs in dog food. You go down, these renter trucks come, and not only do they pick up the dogs who have been euthanized and killed in the shelters, the collars get grinded up with them, and they poisoned the dogs to death. And that's going into your dog's dog food, right? You can look into it. I've seen it. I've been an activist for quite some time. In my business, I go to all these plants. I go to slaughterhouses. I've seen it all. I'll delve into that later sometime, but what I want to discuss eventually and educate is the environmental aspects, the health aspects, more importantly, and most importantly, is the ethical aspects. Now, I'm not a hippie. I actually despise that. I think hippies are hypocritical. They might, back in the day, preach peace and love while they're eating a hot dog and a burger, right? And wearing a leather jacket, or suede, or pigskin, right? Or fur, right? People think it's horrible to wear fur, yet they don't think of leather. It's the skin of a pig or a cow or sheep. Take that for, wool. People think wool is innocent. Well, I advise you to go look at and see how sheep are sheared, if they're enjoying it, and what do they do after they stop producing the amount of wool that they need to. Well, right to the slaughterhouse. And you should see them when they actually escape the farms. What happens to them? They've been genetically modified so much that their fur keeps growing and growing and growing until they can barely move. I've seen sheep that got lost, and then for a couple years, and the next thing you know them, and they can't even walk. They have so much wool because they're genetically modified, just like the milk you drink, right? Cows are made to produce milk for one reason only. It's for the baby calves, right? Well, now, for decades, that's not good. When a cow would get pregnant, the farmer would have to take it off the market for a while, 9 months, until it had its baby, and then let the baby get the colostrum, and then move it out, and the milk goes to you, right? And that milk is also pus, somatic stem cells. I'd recommend you look up somatic stem cells. We allow here in the U.S. 750 million pus cells in every liter of milk. It's 33.8 ounces of milk. In Europe, it's 400 million pus cells, and in Australia, there's no limit. It's absolutely disgusting. Not to mention there's fecal matter in it, right? And yes, fecal matter, blood, pus, right? These poor animals are sucked dry every day. They get mastitis, and yes, the milk is pasteurized, but pasteurization is only a heating process, right? So you're drinking warm pus, warm fecal matter. Look it up. Look up how that the FDA allows crap in your milk. Pretty nice. Well, talk about that and other things very soon. Have a good day. See ya.